Okay, so I thought we'd show a little bit of a video here, just to explain what I think is going on with the front end of your stroke. Other people have mentioned other things, um, and I think they're quite right, but I noticed something that's rather important on the front end of your stroke. Now, just to point out to most people who might watch this, when you're doing a video, an important thing is that you video your normal stroke, not your stroke that you wish you had. Um, and therefore, most people, certainly the post on this, obviously TriTalk, who do video analysis would tend to have an hour session, and they have an hour session for more than one reason. Not just that they can get lots of video, but they can actually video you after you've warmed up, when you're swimming normally, and that's quite important. In this video, I felt what you'd done is you'd either started thinking, okay, I'm going to show you perfect stroke, and slowly but surely as you went through it deteriorated, or you started fresh, and as you went through you slowly but surely got tired, and your stroke deteriorated. So one way or the other, you should really try and video yourself on normal stroke, not on stroke that you think is perfect. So that's just one thing. But what I actually saw was this. Now if you look, your elbow is actually dropping from that front position, which is quite nice and extended. But from there, you actually don't lower the forearm. We go there. You actually lower the elbow and forearm. You can see that your forearm's out there, your elbow's about here, and there's no way you can actually hold water on that arm. So the water is slipping off the front end of that arm. You haven't actually grabbed the water successfully, so you're actually missing a large part of the catch, which is a hugely important thing if you want to swim front crawl particularly fast. Okay, so let's just make sure it's happening again, and you can see it happens on every single stroke. Now this is with your right arm, obviously, and you're not making the catch, you're dropping that elbow. We'll just run it forward to see, too far, to see if we can find it on your left arm. Problem with your left arm coming back here was we had a lot of, well, there is a lot of reflection off the top of the pool, so it was difficult to see. But I think we're getting to a position where we can actually see it, not in that stroke there. Alright, just to go back to re-emphasize Adam's point about your crossover, you can see that really has crossed over. He's absolutely right. You can also see in this shot that twist in your spine, and the fact that your head's out the water and your arm is actually probably about there in under your body. You should really not be turning before your hand gets close to the end of its stroke. So there's a slight timing issue there, and that might cause this crossover. If you actually delayed your head turn until your hand had driven through and your hips had rotated, you wouldn't necessarily get that. So that might be cured if you do one or two timing things. Let's have a look at this arm. Right, you can see there your elbow has actually dropped because your positioning is like that. So your elbow's already dropped and you haven't made any catch whatsoever. So your hand and forearm now is going to come across the body because it's underneath you. It can't do anything else, and your elbow's pointing that way, whereas it should be pointing upwards. If it was pointing upwards, you could have your hand and arm pointing downwards, so you haven't actually grabbed the water with the left arm either. Just try and get the next stroke in. Obviously very close to the end here, but it's where we can see without reflection. And there we go. It happened again. Yeah, so you can see your elbow and your hand are down in a position where you haven't actually made the catch. Hopefully that'll be useful to you and to other people on the TriTalk forum. Certainly, what you should do if you're going to film yourself again, try and film yourself when you're in the middle of a session, when you're slightly tired and you're doing a normal stroke. Alright, thanks a lot.